To me, enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to Indie Wrestling Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host, as always, the queen of the indies, Tiffany. And today, I got your favorite homeboy, Kris Brady. How are you?
I'm good.
I think we have a special guest. We have an owl.
Yeah, there's an owl flying somewhere. I just don't know where he's at. I've been looking. I'm trying to see if I can spot him.
Maybe he'll like join us or something.
That'd be wild.
Can you imagine?
Just Harry Potter style, just right on my shoulder. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
I think we need to like give him a nickname. Should we call him Harry?
Sure, why not?
Or Larry? Maybe? I don't know. Does he look like a Harry?
I don't know, something big is flying right there.
Oh man, we're gonna have some like crazy action.
You never know.
On this podcast. We're gonna see an owl.
What if he just pulled up? He had my bandana on his head. Just west side. That'd be crazy. Anyways.
So what's gonna happen is, you're gonna bring him to like your next wrestling match, and you're gonna come out to the ring with Harry.
Yeah, with the owl. Hell yeah.
That's our homeboy Harry.
That would be dope.
Anyway, guys, if you're new to the Under the Rope series here, I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, I guess owls too, backstage and all that fun stuff. We're starting off fun here pretty much on this podcast, but yeah. So anyway, guys, please feel free, share the stream. Let's get some people in here. I would really appreciate it. Yeah, so let's learn a little bit about you. So I actually want to start off with like this kind of question. So like what are the things that made you fall in love with professional wrestling?
Man, honestly, like I tell everybody, just the storytelling aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like when I grew up watching it, I was like 4 or 5 maybe, and just like seeing a dead man on TV putting people on crosses and lifting them up, and the blood and Stone Cold and the beer drinking, and I just fell in love with it. I've loved it ever since then.
That's awesome. That's so.
I mean, back in the day, everything was Crash TV. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
like they didn't want you to stop watching, whether it was wrestling, Jerry Springer, Maury, like all the TV shows. They kept bringing something, so you didn't have a chance to switch that channel.
Right.
And that's what wrestling did to me.
It really did. It's crazy. So talk to us a little bit about like your training, how long, so like if people aren't like as familiar with you.
I started off in Las Vegas with the Snake Pit and FSW. Back then I was a little hot-headed, so I didn't know what I had when I had it, I guess, if that makes sense. So like I did the training, but it was very like I thought I was better than everybody else in a sense when I shouldn't have, and I didn't know any better. It was just me being the way I was at the time.
Right.
And you know that, and just wanting to be a wrestler for so long, that's all I focused on. So I didn't focus on doing the right things like getting a job, making sure the bills were paid. I was just like solely focused on wrestling. And after that, I came back to Washington. COVID hit, and once COVID hit, I started training at Dragonplex with some good friends, Dave Turner and Chris Ross, and it was just an open ring, you know what I mean? An open ring with good people, you know what I'm saying? And once I started doing that and training and working my ass off and changing my attitude and doing better and acting better, you know, acting like I want to be a part of the business, that's when stuff really started to pick up for me.
Man, that was like crazy during like COVID times, right? Like, you know, like how was that like during for you? Like now it's like we're past it, right? Or like we kind of like forgot, like, but like during all that, like during wrestling and everything like that, it was really crazy. Like, you know, like having no fans and things like that.
out here there were no shows.
Yeah. Oh.
It just kind of shut down completely. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And in the beginning of it, like right before it, like it was, you could see it turn into a hotbed. You know what I mean? You could see all these promotions popping up and doing good things and having good matches. And then COVID kind of came and just derailed everything. So I mean, like COVID to me, it wasn't fun, but like at the same time, that's where I got to everybody's favorite homeboy. You know what I mean? That's where I got to discover myself and who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You know, it's funny. I think I need to start, putting this into like some of my podcasts about character development,
Right.
because I feel like that's such a thing that a lot of wrestlers struggle with, pretty much. Especially like starting from the very beginning and trying to find yourself or whatever. I don't know if there's like like any thoughts like that you can share, for that.
I mean, like, it's just basically yourself turned up to 10. You know what I mean? Like, the volume's always turned up. I know with me, like, I'm always dancing and having fun and cracking jokes and stuff like that. So, like, just one day I just came in with a pair of overalls on. Um, and, like, a band. I think I had, like, a red bandana on, like, Pac. And I just kind of just changed it up, you know what I'm saying? Because I could, like, because where I'm from, like, over time, being in the military and all that, you learn to kind of adapt with different styles. And man, the overall came on. I put DMX in the background. I started dancing, and the rest was history. Um, you know what I mean? Once you have a really good idea, if it's just you and you turn it up a little bit, I think everything kind of just falls in place after
Right.
that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. So let's do this. We'll start off like this. So obviously, I've seen you.
Right.
I've met you, and like I've watched your stuff and everything. But for like a fan who's tuning into this podcast, never seen you wrestle before, what's a match that you would recommend for them to watch to become an instant fan of yours?
Yeah, Cascadia Cup 2023, not the one that just happened, but the one before that. I had an opener with Jade in that. I felt that match. Couple hiccups, right? As always on a bigger stage. That match kind of like put me on the map to where like Prestige kind of knew who I was at that point. You know what I mean? It's like that's where I had my big singles match with Jaden finally in the Prestige ring, and I feel like I really showcased who I was as a talent and what I could bring to the table.
Definitely. So shout out to Prestige. Let's talk a little bit more about Prestige, because like that is like the hotbed, right? That like
Yeah,
everybody wants to get on, right? Like it
and
is.
that's the hard thing.
Yeah. So
Everybody wants to get on. There's I've been on my fair share of shows. You know what I mean? It's always fun to see like new people get to experience that. Um, but man, you know how it is in this industry when something gets hot, everybody tries to jump on.
yeah.
It's like that's just how it is. Everybody automatically assumes that if you go to one of the big promotions, you're just like gonna get signed or something's gonna happen and
Yeah.
happen big for you. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to Prestige. Like I see them like
Oh, for
here.
sure. Prestige is killing it.
It is killing it. I gotta watch like after sometime this week. I gotta catch up on like the Prestige show last night, because like that was just
Yeah,
a hot commodity show last night. I was like I gotta watch this. I was like, so that's
it was
on
a good
my.
one.
It's definitely on my thing right now. But all right, so let's talk about this, because this is where maybe like if they people haven't watched you, but like since I'm in New York, so East Coast
Right.
and everything, and we'll get into the whole East Coast West Coast thing and everything like that. But I feel like a lot of fans that do like support this podcast. I just had Desmond Cole on last week on the podcast. We started off the year, so what a better way to talk about like that? 2 years ago, beyond, you guys got to wrestle, and I was just
Yeah,
talking about that with like a friend this morning. So talk to us a little bit about, you and Desmond Cole, and then we're going to go into the whole East Coast, West Coast thing.
so some like before the match, somebody when I was down there before the Beyond show for the festival, somebody was like, "Man, you remind us of Desmond Cole,
Right.
Boofa," and I was like, "I don't know who that is, right?" Because I'm from the West Coast. We all have our own little areas. I just you don't know certain people,
Right.
and once I got home and somebody said they wanted to see that match, I looked him up. And you want to talk about East Coast version of everybody's favorite homeboy? Like, you know what I mean? He's got that East Coast swag, but I got that West Coast swag. So when I got to wrestle at Beyond, that was my first match, dude. I was stoked. I was pumped. That was a fun one. And like we did the promos and the overalls and the graffiti and his spray, and it was just, yeah, it was dope.
It's so crazy, right? Because it's like, like you really didn't know each other, and then it's kind of like it's so wild how it's like you're on the West Coast, he's on the East Coast, and it's kind of like you could do the Spider-Man effect.
Right? Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
We need to run that back. Like,
I know we do. I'm trying to get over there, man. Wrestling is a pain, bro. Like a pain. You try so hard to message promoters, and I get it. Everybody's busy and they're not going to all reply back. But it's like, for myself, being as good as I know I am and what I bring to the table, it sucks when, like, you hit up these places and the people are tagging you on social media and they want to see you, but they don't want to message back. You know what I mean? And you don't know what you're doing wrong. You don't know if it's because your work's not good. You don't know if because you sent the message wrong. You never know because they don't reply back or they just ignore you. And I guess that's the hard part for me as a wrestler. It's like I'm trying to learn to, like, okay, if they ignore you, like, you don't have to work everywhere. You can work these places and stuff will still pan out. Man, but it's hard, bro. Like, I'm married. I got 5 kids, 2 jobs. I go to school full time. Like, I'm busting my ass out here, but I just, you know what I mean? I put all that on hold for these opportunities and the chances to show what I can do. And, it's hard, man, when you have 5 kids and a wife and you're like, okay, well, let's take a break and then I'll go wrestle and then I'll get the flight here and I'll go here. Like, this could change this and this could change that. But, I'm just 2025. I'm having fun. I'm just living life, man.
Yeah. I know, like, there's, like, one thing that, like, me and you have chat off, like, off the podcast and stuff that we have talked about. A lot of stuff that we see sometimes is, like, the same bookings, right? Like, at different promotions and stuff. And, like, someone like me who watches a lot of wrestling, and, like, okay, so, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that just, like, support their local, like, that one promotion, and that's it, so you'll see, like, matches or whatever. But someone like me who, tries to keep in tune with everything, and, like, you'll cross the promotions between, like, so someone like me in New York, like, Connecticut, Massachusetts, like, things like that, you start seeing sometimes, like, the same matches happening over and over and over again. And, like, I've had these conversations with wrestlers before, and, like, everybody's got different answers. I've had the answer, like, oh, well, you could wrestle the same person, like, 10 times, and every match is going to be the same. But I think, that also, too, is, like, how are you going to get better also if you're not experiencing completely different wrestlers from all over the place to better yourself? And just to see completely different clashes, of styles hit.
Right.
So I'm sure someone like you, like, wants to come over here to the East Coast.
I want to come over there. I want to go to the South. I want to go everywhere because, like, you're right in an aspect where, like, when most of these rosters out here, whether it's Defy, Prestige, DOA, so on and so forth, like, yeah, we all share the same talent, you know what I mean? But we bring in different fly-ins, we have different match types, different storylines. So, like, I understand, you build the promotions off a certain talent and certain local talent, really help build it up, you know what I mean? So, like, if it wasn't for us, these crowds wouldn't be coming. If it wasn't for the matchups that we have with each other in different places, whether it be you're a certain gimmick here and you're a certain gimmick here, like, there's ways to go about it and do it different.
Right.
But yeah, I think every roster needs a little bit of versatility. You know what I mean? You never know who the fans are gonna like if you're not bringing in new talent. I think new talent help bring in a lot of different crowds and a lot of different people. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, DPW is coming up to Jersey this Friday. So I'm going. And, like, usually these shows, like, get crazy, right? Like, sometimes, like, they sell out because we don't get it, like, around here. It's like, it's down south.
Of course.
So it's different. So it's like, oh, okay, I got to get my ticket. I got to go to this because it's something completely different. And usually, like, there's a lot of names that and stuff, so... I think we need more of that. Like, like, I think even maybe, and I'm sure it's hard because I understand it's a lot of money to, like, do all this, but it would be kind of nice once in a while to see a couple, like, maybe, like, promotions working together, right? Like,
yeah, like a mashup show.
Yeah, like Prestige and, like, versus action wrestling or something, like, you know, something different. So you have,
or like DOA and beyond, or DOA and reality of wrestling. I mean, the list could go on and on.
yeah.
The amount of talent that could be shared between each other, and like just sending them back here to here to here to here, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'm all here for this. Like, come on, guys. Like, I get it. It's pricey. It's expensive. You know, like, you could splurge once in a while. Like,
But a one-off show wouldn't be bad. You know what I mean? Like a one-off show could draw.
yeah,
It
like
just
a one-off.
depends
So
on
it's like
who's running.
once a year you do it, and like maybe you could do different promotions. It doesn't even need to be the same promotions or something like that. I think
That's why WrestleMania weekend is so cool, because you get
Yeah.
to see like a lot of different talents from different places face off against each other, because everybody's in the same spot. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's super dope.
But it'd be nice, like a little more like versatile, right? Like all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's great. Like you have your Mania, you have your Collective, you have things like that. You know, okay, so that's one weekend. You know, but like sporadically, like through the year, I think that would be kind of like fun
Yeah, that'd be sick.
to kind of like see, and you know, like, you know, you as life as a wrestler traveling, you know, that's big too. So I'm sure you've been places that, you know, you never thought that you would probably be at because of wrestling,
yeah.
right?
Right, I agree.
So it's just exciting, and like, you know, I hate when people say like indie wrestling's dead. It's not dead. Like,
No, indie wrestling is alive and well.
definitely. So, all right, we're gonna talk about this match because this is exciting and I love it. Microman. All right, like it's like the hot commodity now. Like all the indie wrestlers want to wrestle him, and every time like he gets into the ring with somebody, like it is hysterical. And it's
hilarious.
so much fun.
He's so good.
But this was supposed to be like a three-way. He was supposed to be the referee originally, correct?
No.
Like, no?
It was supposed to be me versus Microman and Alan Angels,
Right.
but Alan had got injured, so he had to, you know, he couldn't perform obviously because he had a leg injury.
Right.
But once it was announced that he was out, I quickly messaged the promoter. I was like, no, we need to run that one-on-one. Like, this is gonna be amazing. And that's what happened. So it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with him. Super respectful, super humble, easy to work with.
It's just funny, like the clips, like I saw like shout out to Wrestling with Unicorns because like they were posting a lot of the clips from that. So I was seeing a lot of like that going on, and it was just funny. Like you were having a good time, and it's just like talk about the heat. That like
Oh yeah, it was easy.
oh, you were getting so much heat. Like
It was easy.
I feel like
Once he
anybody
started
who wrestles
dancing and
him
I kicked him in the face. I was like, that's it.
all
That's
the
it.
time. Everybody. I think even like the one with Alex Zane and him, like easy heat.
It's easy. He's easy to work with.
Well, hopefully like you can have that three-way eventually with, you know, Alan Angels and stuff. That would be
yeah. That'd be fun to do.
that'd be
Hopefully we can run it back. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. So
oh yeah, definitely. So we're putting it out. We're manifesting. We're always manifesting on this podcast, pretty much. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about. You know, I'm very big on action wrestling. So you were part of the, you know, like the actual SCI tournament, like the future showcase, because that's a big. It's on my bucket list. I need to get down to action. I would love to go to
it was fun.
SCI, and then you have the FSW, which is great. Because you find talent that you didn't even know about. So it's like, if you're not watching that, you should be, because you're getting people from like all over the place. So you got to be part of that in 2023. So talk to us a little bit about that experience.
it was fun. I had fun in Tennessee. I didn't really know what to expect with the tournament. Obviously, you just kind of go with it. To make it to the finals in my first time was pretty awesome. I had a blast. Everybody I worked was fun. And then the next night, I teamed up with Jay Malachi. I think this was a couple months before he got signed.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember walking in the back, and he stood up. And I was like, oh, we going to mesh well. And all I remember him doing, and this is when I knew he was going to get signed. I was
Right.
like, oh, this dude's about to be a star. Pulls up his pants, and he goes, and we about to get wicked out there, homie. And then the music hits, and I was like, oh, this dude's going to be a stud, bro. Now look at him.
It's crazy.
In
It's so
NXT,
crazy.
living his best life. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh man, that's so crazy. Yeah, definitely. I gotta get to like one of these. It's so cool, and I think that's kind of like where I first like saw you. You know, like
it's
down
fun,
there.
different mashups, different matches.
Yeah. Definitely. So check that out. Like I said, I always shout out Matt Griffin because he's just like doing amazing things
He's
with
amazing.
action.
He was super easy to work with.
He's so great. Now we got Tim Bovsey. I kept saying that this is a name that people probably don't know who he is now, and now he's the action champion, and he started to make waves like crazy, so I'm sure you probably even like to get your hands on him too, get some gold.
I'm always down to get gold. You already know that.
bring on the gold, pretty much.
Bring everything.
Yeah. Well, you were also like a POW champion, so like talk to us about that with the gold and things with POW.
With POW?
Yeah.
Winning the championship meant a lot to me. You know what I mean? Like to finally get an opportunity to run with it and go with it and do some wild stuff like the Trap House street fight with Levi Shapiro and working Zicky Dice and just learning from those people was a fun time to me and a fun period in my career. So I always want more though. You know what I mean? So.
Oh man. So going back after some gold, like I said, I always tell people dripping in gold, looking for some more gold, and you
gotta have it all.
Gotta have it all.
Need all of it.
I can't. You brought up Defy It, and I feel like obviously again, this is another one that is very well known. A lot of great people come out and Defy.
Yeah.
Such good stuff. And you've got to work there too. So talk to us a little bit about that.
I don't feel like I really got to work there.
No? Yeah. I thought you were there once or
I did the Tacoma show.
Right.
But I feel like to really experience Defy, it has to be Washington Hall.
Right. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I was like, I know you do work there.
That vibe is incredible and the matches are always great and I'd love to work there. I've tried.
You've tried? All right, we're manifesting. We're manifesting.
Wrestling. I live an hour away from Seattle, so it's not that far away.
It's book me. I'm here for that.
I've tried. I've done what I could do.
So we'll put it out there. All right. So another fun question here. I like to ask, do you have any pre-match rituals?
No.
No.
There is none. I just be chilling. Maybe go grab a coffee.
Nothing
stretch.
Crazy.
No, nothing crazy. Coffee, stretch. Wait for my music to hit, and then when it hits, I go out there.
Does this dancing thing.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm usually doing in the back behind the curtain. Anyways, dancing.
There you go. I actually like seeing videos like that because I do so if you guys also make sure you check out my Indie Talks episode. I'm probably gonna put up one this week from Focus Pro, whatever. But what I like is those moments before. So even you prepping right before, hyping yourself up.
Oh, and then
right
they
before.
Go through the curtain.
Yeah, I like seeing videos like that. Like I said, Wrestling with Unicorns pretty good. You see that, and then you see the wrestlers kind of singing their song, getting ready to come out of the thing and everything. So
I always love those videos.
Those are always it's just genuine stuff, and someone like me I've been backstage. I see a lot of things that happen. But I think it's great when the fans that they don't know everything that's entailed, and I don't think they shouldn't, and I probably shouldn't, but I do, but it's cool. It's to showcase that and see all the little things of the backstage.
That's the best part when you come out of that curtain and there's a sea of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't see them behind the curtain.
Right.
And then once you open that curtain, and your music's playing, and the lights are going, and there's people in the crowd chanting and cheering. That's the best part to me.
Yeah, it's just electric, right? You come out.
I can't imagine what it feels like on a bigger stage.
Well, we're manifesting all this good stuff so that that could happen.
Picture it WrestleMania. It's quiet behind the curtain, and the minute they walk out that curtain, there's 100,000 people sitting in front of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's got to be a wild experience.
I'm sure it's got to be a little nerve-wracking too, right?
I would 100% assume it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So
all eyes are on you.
Yeah, and then it's like even if it's something like we've had like also too, right, like AEW had like a whole thing, like you have like the dark
Yes.
matches, and then you were having even during COVID and stuff, and then that was kind of great too for like all the
And
indie
those were
wrestlers.
dope because you were getting a bunch of indie wrestlers that nobody knew that now have a bigger following or now signed or doing bigger stuff. You know what I mean? Because of those opportunities.
Right, right. So, but I remember like even seeing like once like after COVID, like I seen a bunch of indie guys like with the dark, and I was like running to all my friends here, and I was like, oh okay, and then like you see them in the ring, and you're like, how cool is that to have that moment that you're on this big platform, you know? But I'm sure it's a little nerve wracking from indie world, right? From like 50 to
Oh
maybe
yeah,
300 fans to
yeah. It's different. I mean, it's different because there's more people, but like the energy with more people is insane.
right, right,
Like
right,
my first Roseland, like if you watch my first Roseland and you see me on the entrance, you see me like kind of look at the sea of people because like I've never wrestled at Roseland before. You know what I mean? I didn't know what the experience was like. So seeing all those people just make you want to get more hype.
right. Crazy, crazy. Well, we'll put it out there 2025, hopefully, you know, like that you have like some of those experiences too. Then you got to come back and you got to tell us about it, like how
Yes.
that all went. So all right, let's do some fan tweets here. So I have one from Good Cop Bad Cop. So he likes to mess with everybody on this podcast. So he says, with Kris Brady being an anagram of drab risky, which indie wrestler is the most drab, and who takes the most risks? And he said drab means lacking brightness and dearly dull.
Man. I don't think there's anybody dull or anything, you know what I mean? But the other one who takes the most risks? Risk meaning what? Like in ring? Or
Yeah, in ring.
does it- Oh, man. Jaden's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Drexel's really crazy. There's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of risky wrestlers in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, you got Drexel going through light tubes and Jaden jumping off balconies, and man, there's a lot of choices.
Oh man. So let's put it out there. Like, what would be your, I guess, what venue would you like a dream match? Venue, state, stipulation.
What?
Yeah. Put it out
Venue?
some crazy stuff here.
All right, man. WrestleMania would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania in Seattle, because we need that again.
Okay.
And my dream opponent,
Yeah.
man, it would have to be Undertaker or R-Truth. Man, could you imagine me and R-Truth? That'd be wild. I always had this storyline, like, just making jokes and being funny. I always had this storyline that, like, I was the real dad of Little Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
when I turned heel.
Uh-huh.
And then my homeboy character, you know, turns into a preacher. And, you know, me and Little Jimmy just live life preaching. Little Jimmy's my son, man. R-Truth was never the real dad. You know what I mean? So,
Okay, then put a stipulation on the match.
man. With the Undertaker or R-Truth?
Yeah.
Man. A Little Jimmy on a pole match. Yeah. R-Truth, WrestleMania, Seattle. Little Jimmy on a pole match. But you don't know which pole it is.
Oh,
'cause
God.
he's invisible. You got like 4 poles to choose from. You might be on the third one and think you won the match, but he's all the way over there on the other side. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, that's the match. That's the match right there.
Those are always fun. That's fun. All right, I have another fan tweet from Bobby. He goes, "Who has been your best opponent in the ring?"
Man, it depends on the match. I've had a lot of matches with Jaden. Singles matches, I feel like we always go harder, so definitely that. Jaden for sure, in my opinion. But then I had really good matches with Drexel, and I've had great matches with Cruel and Microman and Boofa and Bobby, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't really have one best opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, each match was different in their own way.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. A lot of great matches. So definitely, like, you know, the fact that if you haven't watched him, you know, if you got IWTV, you got YouTube, there's plenty of ways.
Just go on IWTV.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good matches on there. My first Roseland, my first Cascadia Cup, Wrestling Open, Pals on there. There's a whole bunch of shows you can watch me on.
Definitely. So let's talk about this because, like, you know, so you were like face for a while and then you were like heel. What do you prefer? And like, how
Face.
hard? Face?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
How hard is the transition from being a face, you know, to becoming a heel?
Oh, like DOA? At DOA, man, the crowd just turned on me, bro. I don't know why.
Just go with
fuck
it.
'em.
No.
Fuck 'em. You want to turn on me, so be it. And that's basically my answer on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come out, they boo, I tell them to fuck off, they sit back down in their place, and I go and do my work. You know what I mean? So, it's just, I'm the same me. You know what I'm saying? But they just don't like that, so.
So you're like finding it like hard to go from that, you know? No.
It's always easy to be an asshole.
Maybe for you, like maybe some other people that can't do it, that, you know, that they break or whatever.
No, I'm not breaking nothing.
Some people do. I've watched it. That's on them. I can't.
I mean, sometimes I'll try not. I mean, there's been times where I've almost broke, but like, not all the time.
Okay. All right. Craziest thing a fan's done to get your attention.
I'm trying to think of it. I mean, there's been times where I've been on the outside of the ring and just, you know, I'm on the ground hurting. And you'll have fans kicking you and calling you names. And, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, nothing crazy's happened yet. I'm still early in my career, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's no tops coming off. There's nobody calling me crazy names. There's no, you know what I mean? So, nothing crazy's happened yet.
Buffa just told last week how a fan threw an entire hot dog. It had everything on it. And I was like mind blown.
At Buffa?
At Buffa.
Man, Buffa should have hit the splits and beat him up. If somebody ever threw a hot dog at me, I'd be so pissed.
He was, and then I was like, but why? Like, I was like,
could you imagine the fan just, here's your payout, bitch.
That's what I said. It was like, here's your hot dog and a handshake. But like,
I'd be pissed. Boof was wild, bro.
I was like, but like, he wasn't even heel. And it was like, well, why? And he told the story. He was like, the fan said he was just excited and he threw his hot.
I mean, that fan would have squared up. I would have stopped the match. I would have grabbed the hose and waited till security got her, dude. You gotta go.
I was like, my God. I was like, this is not good. I was like, but all right. So hopefully this doesn't happen to you.
No, nobody better throw no hot dog at me.
All right. Let's do so let's talk about wrestling with positivity, which is very dear to my heart on this podcast. I do it with every wrestler that comes on to this podcast. So anything you could think of, you know, that you could share with us, like maybe like a fan's done for you, maybe you've done for a fan, maybe a wrestler's done for you, maybe something that you've done for a wrestler, anything that like we wouldn't know unless like you share it.
Oh man. You know, we all get those, I don't know about everybody, but you get those messages where the fans thank you and say how much you helped them get through a long day or a hard day at work or a hard week they've been having. Those are always meaningful. I mean, I've had fans come up to me because they know I'm a barber and they'll be like, hey, we don't want anybody else to cut our hair. Like, will you cut our hair? And I've done that. And like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously not charging them or anything like that, but just spending time with the fans that are helping you and helping people notice you are always fun for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as far as workers like being helpful, I mean, everybody out in the Pacific Northwest has helped me. Um, when I had a bad attitude, they helped me. When I checked it, now I was everywhere. Like I'm not everywhere, but I'm doing a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff because of that. So like people pulling me aside, like Funny Bone, Drexel, Jaden, Dave, Chris, promoters, like everybody, Sonico, like they always gave me positivity and words of encouragement to help me keep pushing.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like it's such an important thing that we should focus on. I mean, I know like
Yeah,
there's always the drama and the negativity into the
and there
world of
shouldn't
indies.
be.
You're right.
Everybody sits here and talks about how much they love wrestling, but they're so quick. I'm not saying everybody, but people are so quick to backstab you or shit on you when you're not listening or not around. And I understand that's like a part of the business, but it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like we're all here to wrestle, we're all here to create art, we're all here to have fun. Yeah, we want to wrestle on the same shows as you. Yeah, we want those opportunities, but we should all be helping each other put each other on and getting us on these shows together because that's what makes everything better.
Yeah. Definitely. We need more of that. So it's like I make sure that that's very important on this podcast, and it's like, you know, like for someone like me who's a fan, it's like I appreciate the things that you do. And I say this like a lot of the podcasts, like you put your
Right.
body on the line. You're here, you're doing something that you love. I love watching wrestling, and you're doing, like us a service and everything like that. And it's like I can't thank you guys enough. Like I will thank for the whole IWC, for the things that you guys do to like entertain us. It's pretty bad when we have like all that shit of all that negative energy and stuff like that. And
Yes,
it's like you
I
said, like
agree.
you're a fan too. Like, you became a wrestler because you love wrestling, and so we're all on the same boat here. Like, why can't, like everything's so negative. So like
Yes,
we had to share that. So, all right. So what are some goals for you in 2025?
man. Get back out to the East Coast, man. Just go everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go back to Beyond. I want to do Wrestling Open more. Um, Limitless. More places in Canada, more places in the South, Texas, Florida, like anywhere that would have me
Hmm.
and wants to give me an opportunity to show what I can do and what value I can bring to the table and what value I can bring to their promotion. Like, I'm down. Let's work something out, man.
Yeah. Is there anybody like on the East Coast, like specifically that you would love to work? Like we're putting it out there.
Everybody, man. Bro,
Well, yes,
everybody.
everybody, but
There's people that I feel like given the opportunity to have a really good, solid indie match and show that I can go, like, I'm always up for like Alec Price
I would put
would
it
be
out
fun.
there.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like Alec Price. Another rematch with Bufa. Anybody on the Wrestling Open roster. You know what I mean? Like just anybody. I want to face everybody. I just want to go learn and have fun and have opportunities to be in front of different crowds and different promotions. I don't care if it's a student show, if it's a tryout before the show, if it's anything. Just like give me an opportunity. I'll bring myself out. You know what I mean? And let me just show you in 5 minutes what I can do.
Well, we're putting it out there. Hopefully, we'll see you more here. I just there's so many wrestlers out there. I want to see like so many different things, and like I would love to see like you like what like you said like Alec Price would be great, and like
Right?
even go down south. Like there's so many
Social
people. You know.
There's only so much you can do with messages, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like social media is like what really helps. Like people tagging you and people putting you over and people talking to promoters and other wrestlers talking to each other. Like that's what gets you on the good show on us show and the big shows and the opportunities to wrestle everywhere for different promotions. Um, that's what gets you those things. You know what I mean? So, uh, I just wish more people would talk about me on social media and just see how good I am and what I can bring to the table and just maybe open some eyes to these different places.
Yeah. 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 I mean, your work, speaks for itself. So like,
But a lot
uh,
of it's on me, you know what I mean? Like I could be doing more. I could be posting more. I could be posting more clips. You know what I mean? So like I don't give the flack to anybody,
right.
Obviously it's got a lot to do with me first.
Hmm. And it's crazy now that we have this whole thing like the WWE ID thing going on, you know, like that's been kind of like the big buzz going now. And I think it's making a lot of the indie guys a little crazy now.
Well, here's the thing. You're either going to get picked or you're not going to get picked. Like, there's 17,000 independent wrestlers. Like, only a handful of them are going to get signed.
Right.
The quicker people realize that, and the quicker people just have fun wrestling and enjoying their time in the ring and enjoying what they do, the better everything will be. You know, everybody's trying to vie for that next spot, but you know, you put the hard work in, you put the time in the gym, you put the time in training, you help set up, you're there for teardown, you're showing up to shows you're not booked on. You know, just for the love of the game, man. Just have fun, enjoy it while you can, because you never know. Your next show, you could be your last show, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, you know, the injuries, you know, again, I give you guys so much credit. You know, even like the littlest things, like, you know, the fact that last night I saw Lucas Chase, I don't know what happened, but then blood dripping out of his nose. He didn't break it, but like gushing. And it was funny because like after the show, he said to me, he was like, you know, he goes, I swear to God, Tiffany, he's like, I heard you. He's like, you went, because it's like, I get close to you guys. And it's like, I hate seeing you guys get hurt.
Yeah, injuries suck.
They do. But it sucks that you're doing what you love, and like you know that's the risk you guys take for us, you know, to entertain us and stuff.
Just a part of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of the game. So I have one last question for you, then we'll go into everything that you have coming up and stuff like that. So again, so you've been in the business for a bit or whatever. So of course there's always like fans that tune in and, you know, maybe they're thinking about training, or, you know, maybe somebody who started training to become a wrestler. What's a piece of advice that you would give them?
Keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
The infamous line on this pod.
That's what I did when I first got in. You know what I mean? Like, find a reputable school. You know, good trainers, good people. Go to a good area. Keep your mouth shut. Learn, listen, and just have fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. So, what do you got coming up? So, if people want to come and support you, see you, all that fun stuff.
I'm at DOA every month in Portland, Oregon, on IWTV. Got some fun stuff coming up there. I got a lot of shows with POW coming up in Eugene, Oregon. You can stream them on YouTube on their channel at POW Pro Wrestling. Dragonplex, they have a show, Peak, in Everett, Washington. I'm on that. A lot of stuff with Prestige. I don't know when the next time I'll be there is, but I'm hoping it's soon. Defy is coming up. You know, I hope to be there one day. You got Relentless. Like, you can see me everywhere. I got Pandemonium coming up. I'm going to be at WrestleMania weekend in Vegas. So, yeah, man, I got a lot of fun shows coming up. If you're in the area, if you're in Washington, tune in. If you're in Portland, tune in.
Yeah.
You never know. I might pop up in Canada, too.
So, and tell everybody where they can follow you so that they can follow you, and then, like, so they can come see you and all that fun stuff.
Instagram, you can find me at Kris Brady 35. Kris with a K. I know, it's weird. You can find me on Twitter or X. You can find me on X at Kris Brady 23. Facebook, Kris Brady. I mean, I'm basically the same name on everything. When you see me with the bandana on, you know you're at the right page.
I love that. I mean, you'll see that on the graphic over here pretty much with you with the bandana and everything like that. So, is there anything that you want to share that we did not cover that you want the fans to know?
No, we covered pretty much everything. The fans just got to tune in. Follow me on socials. You know, see my stuff. See the clips. Watch the matches, you know, just support like you guys have been. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, yeah, share the clips, you know, like post clips. I'm always on my social media posting clips for like when I go to shows. It's important. It's important for these guys. We got to get them out there more.
It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah. Or just hit the share button or whatever it is that you got to do.
It helps everybody. You know what I mean? It just helps wrestling overall.
It really does. It really does. Team effort, guys. So, but yeah, thank you for coming onto this podcast to chat with you. You know, hopefully a lot of big things happen for you in 2025 so you can come back here and then you can talk about all the great stuff, you know, and like hopefully like we get you more here on the East Coast You know, like I want to see you again. I want to see you in Bufa. There's a bunch of people
I
I'd
want to come
love.
out to the East Coast all the time, man. All they have to do is answer the messages that I send them.
Open the DMs, guys. Like
Open
seriously,
the DMs, man. Let me in, man. I'm here. I'm offering myself, man. Let me show you what I can do.
I can't. Definitely let them in. I want to see them. So if you're watching this podcast, you know, tweet at your favorite promoters. Tell them to bring them in. Like watch his
Tag 'em,
stuff.
I'll hit them up.
Well, we can let the fans do it too, because sometimes they have the power too. So the fans got power too, which is great. So, but anyway, next week I'll be back with Milo Mira, and I will have also an Indie Talks episode sometime this week. So make sure you're subscribed to Indie Wrestling Corner. Follow Kris. You know, and everything. Yes. We'll get him booked out here hopefully soon, you know, and like, maybe I'll be out. You never know where I pop up. So
who knows? I might just pop up on the East Coast just to pop up.
Just come on down. Just take a week. Just come, like, you know, whatever. I'll tell you. Just pick a week. I'll tell you where like all the spots are and everything like that. Yeah, to just like show up. You never know.
It's crazy because I used to live in Philly.
Me and you had talked about that though. You lived in Philly, so it's like if you go to Philly,
I only lived there for like 6 months because my dad lives in Newark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's far from Philly.
Anytime I want to.
Yeah.
No, I know that, but
but there's a lot of wrestling in between. So
that's what I mean. There's a lot of shows, man. All I gotta do is come out there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see them. So, but guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching later, leave a comment below. You know, share the stream, hit the like button, all that fun stuff. So, but you guys know the drill. Stay safe, support independent wrestling, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
But if I would have a and that's insane to have a individual of this caliber